What if one of the world's biggest video game franchises came alive on the big screen? Explosions that shake your seat, betrayals that shatter your heart, and characters as iconic as any superhero team. For 2 decades, Call of Duty has redefined gaming. But could it conquer Hollywood? Imagine a film where bullets rip through city streets, helicopters roar overhead, and soldiers make impossible choices that decide the fate of nations. Today, we're breaking down what a Call of Duty live-action movie could look like, the story, the cast, the iconic moments, and why it might just be the most explosive video game adaptation ever. Since 2003, the franchise has sold over 400 million copies worldwide. That's more than Halo, more than Battlefield, even more than The Sims. And while The Last of Us and Halo have already made their way into television, Call of Duty has never had its own Hollywood blockbuster, which is almost shocking because its DNA is already cinematic. Think about the gritty war realism of World at War, the espionage and conspiracies of Black Ops, the globe-spanning chaos of modern warfare. Each entry feels like a movie in its own right. All that's missing are real actors, practical effects, and the massive scale of a theatrical release. So how do you take 20 years of Call of Duty and condense it into a 2-hour film? You can't cover everything. But the best way forward would be to center the movie around the modern warfare saga. The opening scene could play out in Eastern Europe. A CIA Black Ops team infiltrates an abandoned factory. The air is cold, silent. Night vision goggles glow green, every footstep measured. Then, suddenly an ambush. Gunfire erupts, chaos takes over. The team is annihilated, and in the wreckage, the mastermind is revealed, Vladimir Makarov. Makarov becomes our villain, a terrorist determined to ignite World War III through deception and nuclear blackmail. To stop him, the world forms Task Force 141, an international Black Ops unit. This is where we meet our heroes. Captain Price, the grizzled commander who's seen it all. Soap McTavish, the fearless but brash Scotsman. Ghost, the mysterious masked operative. And a new recruit, our audience surrogate, the one who sees this world with fresh eyes. The first act could introduce the team in London, where a seemingly routine mission spirals into chaos as Makarov's men attack a public area, pushing the heroes to make split-second decisions between saving civilians and completing their objective. The second act takes us across the globe, a stealth operation in Siberia under blizzard conditions, where the team must silently navigate enemy outposts. A brutal desert firefight in the Middle East, where visibility is low and survival feels impossible. Political intrigue in Washington, where trust starts to unravel. And then the betrayal. One of their allies has been feeding intel to the enemy, leading to a devastating ambush that costs lives and shatters morale. The third act culminates in Moscow, a city teetering on the brink of destruction. Makarov hijacks a nuclear launch system, planning to unleash catastrophic war. Price and the team fight through collapsing skyscrapers, burning streets, and enemy waves. In a final rooftop showdown, Price and Makarov face off in a brutal hand-to-hand brawl as helicopters circle above and the city burns below. The struggle ends with Makarov's defeat, but at a cost. Friends lost, scars left behind, and the sobering reality that peace is never permanent. Casting would be crucial. Captain Price demands a presence that's both commanding and human, someone like Hugh Jackman or Gerard Butler. Soap McTavish could be played by Richard Madden, a Scottish actor who brings both charm and grit. Ghost requires intensity that cuts through the mask. Tom Hardy is perfect for that. Makarov, cunning and chilling, could be portrayed by Cillian Murphy. And the new recruit? A rising star like Jacob Elordi or Jack O'Connell, giving audiences a character to connect with as he grows from inexperienced soldier to hardened warrior. A Call of Duty movie can't just look like any other war film. It needs to capture the franchise's style. Imagine sequences shot with handheld cameras for gritty realism, drawing inspiration from Black Hawk Down. Night vision missions filmed in grainy green monochrome to mirror the unforgettable look of the games. An AC-130 sequence from a chilling top-down perspective, where explosions are silent flashes in the night. Practical stunts and explosions combined with cutting-edge CGI to make every firefight visceral and believable. And a soundtrack that blends swelling orchestration with hard-hitting electronic beats, making every scene pulse with tension. Of course, a faithful adaptation must honor the franchise's iconic moments. The infamous No Russian mission could be reimagined, not as a shock tactic, but as a moment of moral weight. The film could explore the consequences, the fallout, and the horror of such an act. Fans would expect Soap and Price's trademark banter, injecting dark humor into tense situations. Ghost's tragic sacrifice could deliver one of the most gut-wrenching scenes in the film, honoring the emotional punch fans still remember. And the one-liners? They're non-negotiable. Lines like "Stay frosty" or "Check those corners" aren't just quotes. They're part of the franchise's DNA. But one movie wouldn't be enough. If successful, Call of Duty could evolve into a full-blown franchise. A sequel could shift into the psychological warfare of the Black Ops era, exploring CIA conspiracies and Cold War paranoia. A spin-off could dive into zombies, presented as a horror survival thriller. Other entries could explore World War II origins or even futuristic warfare in a way that still feels grounded. The potential is limitless, offering a connected cinematic universe not unlike Marvel, but built on military and historical storytelling. Now, why would this actually work? For years, video game movies had a reputation for failure. But times have changed. The Last of Us showed that faithful storytelling resonates. Sonic and Detective Pikachu proved that video games can dominate the box office. And in recent years, gritty military thrillers like Extraction, Sicario, and 13 Hours have found massive audiences. Combine that with Call of Duty's massive global fanbase, and you've got the recipe for a billion-dollar franchise. Done right, this isn't just a video game adaptation. It's the ultimate action blockbuster. So what do you think? Would a Call of Duty live-action movie be the next big Hollywood franchise, or just another misfire in the long history of game adaptations? Who would you cast as Captain Price, Soap, and Ghost? Drop your dream cast in the comments. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into gaming, movies, and everything in between. This has been our take on Call of Duty, the movie. And remember, we get dirty, so the world stays clean.